Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining our Partner Spotlight today. Today we're featuring a B2BGateway who provides EDI solutions for our joint customers. B2B has been in our partner ecosystem since its inception back in 2009. So they're one of our longest tenured partners. We've had an excellent relationship with them over the years. We have hundreds of joint customers with B2BGateway and across multiple verticals, including the three that are highlighted here today: manufacturing, wholesale distribution, and retail. One of the things I point out is they have 31 customer reviews on their Suite app. That's really by far a high amount that we've seen across the EDI partners, but even there as far as partners in general. And most of them, 95% of them are 5-star, which is the highest rating you can get. Some of you may have known and worked with Louisa Gooding, who normally would be engaged with us. She has chosen to pursue a new challenge. So today I'm pleased to introduce Melissa Falk and Mark Marone, who are business development representatives from B2B, and they're going to share the story today. So with that, Melissa, Mark, it's all yours.
Great. Thank you so much, Tom. Thanks for the wonderful words about B2BGateway, and we're really excited to be here. As Tom said, my name is Melissa Falk, and I'm going to do the presentation with my coworker, Mark Marone. So just to get started, we're going to go over the agenda, but I'm just going to give you a little background on myself. So I am a business development representative here at B2BGateway. I've been working here for over 2 years now. I actually started in the production support team and then moved over into sales, which I was pretty excited about because I do have over 14 years in outside sales. So this is great. I'm really excited to be here. Mark?
Yeah, hello. Happy Friday, everyone. My name is Mark Marone. I, too, am a business development rep here at B2BGateway. I've been on the sales team for quite some time now. Prior to me joining B2BGateway, I was in medical device sales for 15-plus years for companies like NDS Surgical Imaging, Olympus, and others. So I have quite a bit of experience both at the OEM level as well as the hospital level. Just decided to make a career change. But I have quite a few years of sales experience underneath my belt. I've probably met some of the folks on this call today out at Suite World in April when I just joined the company. So I'm looking forward to really building some strong relationships within the NetSuite organization and looking forward to the relationship moving forward. So that being said, the agenda that we're going to cover today, rather than go through every single point here, we're going to talk a little bit about B2BGateway and where we fit into the marketplace, how to determine if a client has an EDI requirement, integration within NetSuite. We're going to give you a quick brief overview of our client portal, which is a really important tool that most of you are probably aware of for communication with our mutual clients. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about B2BGateway and how we can help you close the deal, and then some of the costs involved in setting our mutual client up. And then at the end, we'll take some questions and answer. We'll have a little question and answer section. But by all means, while Melissa and I are walking through this, feel free to jump in and ask some questions along the way. I always find that, you know, having an interactive meeting is better than us putting everybody to sleep on the other side. So, you know, with that being said, you know, we can kick this off.
So as Tom mentioned, B2BGateway is an EDI provider, which is basically, we are a cloud-based online data conversion engine, and we've been in business since 1999. We have offices in Australia covering the APAC region. Shannon, Ireland, we have an office which is covering the EMEA region. And then we have coverage in China, and our new corporate headquarters is right here in Hope Valley, Rhode Island. We just moved into our new building, and we're really excited about it. And we actually have a short video that we are going to show you in another slide. So as far as the clients, we have clients in over 30 different countries. We facilitate the movement of over $36 billion in invoices monthly, and we really look forward to growing that number with the help of our NetSuite partnership. We are one of the oldest NetSuite partners, going back to when Larry Ellison first owned NetSuite, when it was known as NetLedger. So as you can see, we have a slew of accreditations and awards across the board. We've been a NetSuite partner since 2001, and we're one of the first certified built for NetSuite partners. We do take pride in the fact that we have such a strong relationship with NetSuite. We are GS1 accredited, which is the global standard for business communication, and we've been awarded the Pro to Know for the past several years. So here are some mutual clients and some logos that you may recognize. For the pet lovers, we have Blue Dog Bakery and Ruffwear. For the health enthusiasts, there's Amazing Grass. And for the snack lovers, Skinny Pop Popcorn, which is one of my favorites. We do have close to 500 clients that are currently using NetSuite as their integration of choice with B2B Gateway. We do want to mention that we work with all ERP systems.
And here's just a quick little walkthrough video of the brand new headquarters that we just moved into about 2 weeks ago. Most of you have been hearing about this new building for many years now. I think we started in maybe 2000, maybe 4 years ago or so, I would say. So we've had offices spread out over southern Rhode Island. So we had 4 or 5 different offices where we were all under, you know, a different roof, but now it's nice to have everybody under the same umbrella. And we can definitely, you know, we thank our growth and the expansion and the ability to be able to move into a new building, you know, because of our NetSuite partnership. We would love for any of you to stop by if you're ever in the area. We have training rooms that are absolutely magnificent, and we're hoping in the future that we can have some joint training programs with NetSuite.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about 3PLs. I'm sure everybody knows what a 3PL is, but if you don't, it's basically a third-party logistics company that offers warehousing and transportation solutions for your clients. And we do see that 3PL market as one of our fastest growing trading partners. So what we would do is we would work with your client's 3PL by integrating directly with them in the wholesale distribution space. The 3PL handles the pick, pack, and shipping of the products. And in the B2C arena, people really want their items to arrive as soon as possible. For example, if I order a new pair of shoes or a golf club online, I want them to arrive at the door, you know, right away. I want it the next day. So that's kind of an important relationship, and it's a really strong one, and you know, we're really excited about expanding that. And we do have a lot of 3PLs that recommend B2B Gateway as their EDI solution, and we have a couple of those listed on this slide. So we're just going to talk about some other verticals here. We do work with all different verticals. And we've noticed that, you know, people have been more concerned than ever with their health, and companies like Amazing Grass and Vegan, they're busier than ever. People never stop spending money on their pets. I know my beagle, he sometimes eats a little bit better than I do. So the next, the food, wine, and beverage industry, they are always booming. You know, I somehow always find the extra money to grab a bottle of wine on the way home or grab some steaks to cook on the grill while I'm camping and wearing my down jacket from REI. And another popular vertical, children and electronics. So my 8-year-old son is already asking me for a cell phone. So I kind of think these two industries go hand in hand. And as our children grow and as technology advances, these industries, I feel, are always going to be booming.
So just to transition a little bit here, you know, where does EDI fit into the marketplace? You know, as previously mentioned, we provide a seamless integration with 3PLs, third-party logistic companies, manufacturers, e-commerce platforms, retailers, and others. In addition to the documents shown on this slide, we also manage your client's functional acknowledgement, also known as the 997s, at no charge. This is extremely important because it basically confirms the receipt of documents like invoices, ASNs, and others. Next slide. And you'll have access to this slide deck as well later on for future viewing. So how do you know if your client has an EDI need? Right, I mean, that's probably one of the biggest questions as you're bringing on new clients. I mean, you may not hear the word EDI, but you're definitely going to hear some of these buzzwords on the slide that indicate there's most likely a need, or at least a reason to probe a little further. B2B can support all EDI formats, including ANSI X12, XML, Edifact, and Tradecom, which are typically used in the automobile industry, as well as within the European and the Far East markets. We work with all communication methods, VANs, which is a value-added network, AS2s, which is essentially an encrypted dedicated leased line, FTP, file transfer protocol, secure file transfer protocol, HTTP. We got a lot of TP in this new building over here. A lot of TP is going on. We handle over 300 different documents, including the 3PL's 200 and 900 series. And we can help facilitate your clients' UCC 128 label requirements through our warehouse support site. So continuing on, in regards to how do you know if your client has an EDI requirement. So if your client has a legacy system and they want to integrate with NetSuite, or they want to sell their products on an e-commerce site or online retailers, it's likely that the prospect is going to require an EDI solution. As mentioned in the previous slide, it's just really important to be attentive, listen to certain keywords, and basically give us a call, and we can support you, as you're furthering down, the conversation path of an EDI solution. But I mean, if you hear that your customer is going to be, working with online retailers, shopping carts, e-commerce, et cetera, there's a 99% chance that B2B Gateway can help you with an EDI solution. So we all know kind of and maybe we all don't know, maybe I shouldn't speculate, but most of us probably know the whole online retail and commerce hub type of relationship. Whether your clients are using Magento or Volusion or your own Suite Commerce shopping platform, they're most likely going to need a Commerce Hub. They have to, a connection with Commerce Hub for the retail connection. There's approximately 50 big box stores, that utilize Commerce Hub to bring down orders from their online marketplaces. Commerce Hub, they also provide services and help onboard as well as monitor their suppliers. So in this particular scenario, B2B Gateway would communicate directly with Commerce Hub to bring the purchase orders in from the trading partners and then import them into the client's NetSuite account. Now in the opposite direction, we would pull the invoices, inventory feeds, advanced shipping notices, also known as the ASNs, out of the client's NetSuite account and then send them back through Commerce Hub to the appropriate trading partner. So before we move on to any of the additional slides, are there any questions or anything that you want to stop and talk about?
Any questions from anybody on the line?
Did we put everybody to sleep?
I've got a question.
All right, thanks, Tom.
Mark, out of the different gateways, where do you see, is it mostly schedules, like the ones you've got shown there, that you see that are common with our NetSuite clients, or which one of the gateways do you see are most commonly deployed in your experience with NetSuite?
Well, I mean, there's a combination. I mean, everything that's pretty much on this screen is what we deploy and typical with a NetSuite relationship. I mean, obviously the ASNs are extremely important because, it really prevents any back charges or any chargebacks, I should say. So ASNs are extremely important because there are retailers out there or big box stores that are essentially using, chargebacks as a revenue stream. So ASNs, the 856, I'd say is probably one of the most important on this screen. Obviously you want to receive the POs in, the invoices out and such, but I would say the ASNs in my opinion, but
okay.
It's my opinion.
And how about your international footprint? How many customers do you have that are, you could percentage of North America, percentage EMEA, percentage APAC?
Yeah, I mean, the majority is going to be here in the U.S. I don't know the exact percentages. I can find that out for you. I'd say probably 75% here in the U.S. We're getting pretty strong in the Australian market with some of the relationships that we have over there. We have an office in Ireland, and we have an office in China. So we really do have a global footprint, and we are focusing more globally as an organization. So, but to give you a breakdown from a percentage standpoint, I'd have to get back down that, Tom.
No worries.
I do want to mention, Tom, one thing is when we get some website inquiries, lately we've been getting a lot more website inquiries from overseas. You know, as Mark mentioned, you know, the biggest chunk is right here in the U.S., but because we do have that great office coverage and employees in other parts of the world, we have been noticing a lot more web inquiries from prospects that are coming from outside of the U.S.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So moving on to the integration and records that we support within NetSuite. So one of the great things about B2B Gateway is that your customers have access to their orders in NetSuite through B2B Gateway because we build into their NetSuite user interface. And we use web services to access their documents. Basically what we're doing is we're populating records and pulling records out. We aren't manipulating or touching anything within your potential client's NetSuite account, which is, you know, obviously pretty important as far as security is concerned. So some examples of the records and how we transfer those. If B2B Gateway is importing your client's PO into NetSuite, it usually would be going in as a sales order. We can take your client's warehouse shipping confirmation and we can bring it in as an item fulfillment record to update that sales order, and we'd be updating it usually from like pending fulfillment to pending billing, and then automatically pull that out as an invoice. So those are some examples of some of the records and how we work with them within NetSuite. We can set up custom fields. We can do this by adding a value to the data. If your client has a ship-to address that needs to go to a specific store, we can set that custom field up so it automatically populates the correct address. We can also populate custom records, like your product activity report, and this will enable your customer to see what products they're selling. So this is a great tool, being able to have, you know, these custom fields and custom records so they can be specific to your client's business requirements. We also do saved searches and custom searches, but the great thing about a saved search is it's based on your client's criteria. So they're choosing how we are creating this saved search. We can pull inventory for specific trading partners, or we can use the search to populate the cross-reference tables as new items are added. Basically, you can put anything you want in a saved search, and B2B Gateway can help your clients do that. So what makes B2B Gateway stand out from the crowd? Well, first off, we make EDI hassle-free with automated processes. We can take one document and map it to multiple different documents, such as a purchase order importing into NetSuite as a sales order, as I mentioned before. But then that same document can get sent to your 3PL as a warehouse shipping order, or a 940. Or when the 3PL sends that warehouse shipping invoice back to your client, it can create that advanced shipping notice and have it get sent automatically to the trading partner. And then also having it update your client's NetSuite update as an item fulfillment record. We offer competitive pricing. There's only a small startup fee, and there's no charge for any mapping changes. And basically, we have full transparency when it comes to our pricing structure. Everything's upfront. There's no hidden costs to be found later on down the road. As far as our integrations are concerned, typically, we get those done within a few weeks. However, if you have a client that has a deadline and, you know, it has to be met and that trading partner has to get set up as soon as possible because the holiday season's coming and these big orders are coming in, we definitely take that into consideration and work with them to try to make the implementation a little bit quicker. But basically, no matter how simple or complex an integration solution is, we can handle it.
Yeah, so one of the key facts or one of the key attributes that we can provide to our mutual client is really customer service. Our customer service, is second to none, definitely in the EDI market. When one of our mutual clients signs up with us, they're giving a 3-person team. They're given a trading partner liaison, they're given a project manager, and they're giving a support engineer. Now, the project manager is essentially going to quarterback the entire project from beginning to end until the documents are live and our mutual client is up and running. The trading partner liaison, who manages all the trading partner relationships, is also a really important role here. For example, if you're one of our mutual customers who wants to work with Ingram Micro, not only does Ingram Micro send POs, but they also receive POs, as well as they operate as a 3PL warehouse. So it's important to have someone in place like a trading partner liaison to manage all those different mapping scenarios and configurations. And lastly, the support engineer that basically helps build all the maps specifically to whatever the customer's requirements are. So as our mutual client also starts to, their business grows and they're adding additional trading partners, they're still utilizing that same 3-person team. And it makes sense to do that because they really understand the business requirements of the client and they have a relationship already. And ongoing support is always available once the client's up and running. We have our rapid response team that you can contact, or they can contact either by phone or email. And they also have the ability to communicate with us through our client portal, which Melissa is going to demonstrate in a few minutes. So as far as our mapping capabilities, that would kind of fall under the support engineer that I just mentioned in the last slide. Our maps are customized to meet the client's needs and therefore offers us flexibility, when creating these maps. We've been in the EDI business, like Melissa said earlier, since 1999, so this isn't our first rodeo. We've been doing this for so long. We've seen almost every single configuration under the sun. However, if we come across something that we haven't seen, we're really not too concerned. We have the staff, we have the people to help, work closely with the client to create these custom maps, to understand their needs. I mean, we're adding new clients, new trading partner relationships, new 3PLs, every day. So just wanted to throw that out there. So now the next slide is where are there any questions before we get into the few case studies that we're going to show? Anyone?
Bueller.
Exactly.
I do have one that came in via chat here. Retails, let me just see here. It's a lengthier dropship model. Can they provide validations? Okay, so it has to do with the retailers, companies that are in the retail vertical, and it gives some background. A lot of times they have large product lists from suppliers and they take drop ships from those suppliers. Are you able to provide the validations necessary to receive these drop ships via EDI?
We have a lot of trading partners and a lot of clients, the relationship where clients are requesting us to do the drop ships, and we do have that information. We have it put into our mapping, so we can account for that. And like I said, we handle lots of client trading partner relationships where they're asking us to drop ship to different locations.
Yeah, we really are like an any type of company. I mean, if we understand the document flow, we understand the transport protocol, and we can really, we have enough staff, we have enough people behind us that we can essentially map anything to anything.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. So the first case study that we're going to talk about is McLaren. Obviously everything that we're going to talk about here are mutual clients. Most of you probably know who McLaren is, or the company, I should say, company McLaren is. If you have kids, if you have grandkids, I know I've been to a few of these strollers myself. So Jim Ramsey is our main point of contact there. He was, I believe, a keynote speaker a couple of years ago at one of the seminars at the Suite World convention. So Basically, the challenge was, Jim, after purchasing and implementing NetSuite in record time, he had an EDI need, and he was looking for a partner that could help support the many different requirements of the international divisions of Amazon. Not only did they work with the U.S. market, and who uses the ANSI X12 standard, they also required some EDIFACT, TRADECOM, and other mapping specifications for certain countries. So essentially, B2BGateway being a built for NetSuite EDI partner, we were able to provide them with a cloud-based EDI solution that could support the multiple requirements and formats of the many international Amazon divisions that McLaren traded with. So the next case study that we have here.
The next one is Merch Source. So I'm sure everyone has purchased an item that was distributed by Merch Source, even without knowing it. If you've ever bought household accessories from Macy's, electronic goods from Target, or toys and pet products from Kohl's, then you indirectly dealt with Merch Source. As they were getting bigger and bigger, they needed a solution so that they could match their order remittance advice, which is an 820. They needed those to be matched with their invoices in NetSuite so that they could close out the invoices. They were actually doing this manually, and they had tens of thousands of invoices that had to be manually closed in their system, and during the busy holiday season, it wasn't feasible. It was overwhelming. So B2BGateway developed an application specific to their needs to automate that process and basically eliminate the errors that could be caused by having to manually rekey the data. So by creating this automated process, we helped Merch Source save time and money and reduce those manual errors. And the next one.
Yeah, we have, excuse me, Red Star Traders. This is a classic growth story here. Some of you may have the furniture either inside or outside of your home. Bill Apgood is our main point of contact over there. We have a really good relationship with him and his company. He was actually one of the keynote speakers at this year's Suite World, which I was able to attend. Fantastic show, by the way. He was part of the wholesale distribution and manufacturing seminar and kind of gave an overview of how NetSuite helped them out and how B2BGateway, so it was really a great testimonial. So the challenge was basically, working with Bill and his company. We worked with him back in the day when he was using QuickBooks as their ERP, and due to significant growth, they needed a more robust ERP, so we essentially recommended them to NetSuite because it was a great match. And combined with NetSuite and our EDI solution, we were able to help them improve their overall supply chain efficiencies between themselves, their trading partners, and their their third-party logistics company, who is SIVA.
So we did have some improvements that were made in 2017. I think moving into our new building was the biggest improvement of all, and that was something in the works for quite a few years. But I do want to mention that with the NetSuite growth in the EMEA region, B2BGateway is going to be creating a more global footprint by adding servers in the EU coming soon in the near future. We check in regularly with your clients' trading partners to account for any updates that they may need to their mapping specs, because we always want to ensure your clients are in full compliance with the trading partners and with their mapping. We set up some automated testing, which isn't really something your clients are going to actually see. It's more behind the scenes, but it has reduced the setup time by days. And we now offer online contracts and a credit card portal, which Mark and I in sales are very excited about. But this basically allows B2BGateway to get started on the client setup and their integration a lot quicker than in the past. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to show you the client portal and just do a little demonstration on that. So this is the client portal. This is the dashboard page. And it's basically a quick hit landing page. And I want to mention that your clients will have access to this on any mobile device. So if your client leaves work early to go to their daughter's soccer game, or they're attending a Dave Matthews concert, which is what I do on a regular basis, they still have access to this client portal. So looking right in the center is the pie chart, and that's just basically showing the trading partners that your client is currently working with, and it's showing, you know, obviously the larger sizes, that's more business that the trading partner is sending to your client's way. Over to the right is the exception box. This shows any documents that need reviewing. You can also see this under the reports tab, which is right over here to the right, to the left rather. So your client receives an email anytime there is an exception, and it will stay on this report until they correct the exception and resend it, or until they remove it manually. And you can choose who gets these emails by going to the email manager tab, which is over here to the left. The great thing about that is you don't necessarily want everybody in your company receiving an email every time that there is either a transaction or there is an exception. I'm sure there's different people that handle different aspects of that. So you can manage that right through this tab. Now, underneath the exception tab is the general alerts. This is where you would find... Excuse me? Nope, okay, sorry, just heard. I thought somebody was asking a question. So under the general alerts, this is where we're going to list any information that is important to our clients. For example, if a Walmart AS2 connection is down, and we can put this right up here on the alert so our clients will know what's going on. And we'll also list if we're going to be having any closings within our North American office. So that's something that, you know, is good to check out every once in a while. Now going down, we have the graph, and basically it's showing how many documents are processed on a daily basis based on the document number. So as you can see, it's showing the advanced shipping notices, the invoices, and the purchase orders. We also have the client alert, and the client alert is basically referring to your client setup. Oh, excuse me. Not sure. I actually clicked on one of the alerts, so well, you saw that. So the client alert, it's basically going to show the status of the setup, and if there's anything that your client needs, we're waiting, B2B Gateway is waiting on, it's going to be listed in that box. And then going down to the bottom, the open tickets. So this is where we show any support tickets. If your customer has a concern with something, they can open a ticket, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But this lists any open tickets. So it's just a quick, easy way to get to any support tickets that you may have. And then down at the bottom is the trading partner relationship in progress. So the green shows 100%. That means that that trading partner is 100% in production. Things are live, and hopefully documents are flowing. If it's red, that means that we're waiting on something. It could be from the client, it could be from the trading partner, but it shows you the percentage of you know, where we are in that actual setup. And I do want to mention that at the top of all these pages, there are training videos. So if you could see right up here, click for client portal demo, you have access to that, and you're going to see that on any of the other slides. So now let's scoot over to the left a little bit. So company info. This is where you can update any of your company information, but I also want to add that you can add as many users as you want, and there's no additional charge for that. So you're a huge company and you have 15, 20 different people that you want to have access to, you add them as many as you want, no charge for that at all. The relationship tab, I mean, this one's pretty much the most important when you think about it, because you want to be receiving orders from your trading partners. And if the setup is not complete, then that means you're not receiving orders, or you're not sending orders, depending if it's a reverse relationship. So this one's really important, and your client will want to check in on this regularly. And again, the green shows that it's in production and everything's all set. The red shows that there's something that still needs to be worked on. You can add a new relationship with this blue tab over here to the right. When you click on that, you just need to answer 10 to 15 business questions, and then a project plan will be created, and your project manager will be working with you on that, as Mark had mentioned earlier. You know, that 3-person team, that project manager, the trading partner liaison, and the setup engineer. You do have access to view the documents that are in progress with the trading partners and the setup details. I'm not going to go into those, but the client has access to everything. Everything is very transparent, and they can see as each step is going on. They have access to that. The warehouse tab, this is actually our warehouse support site, and your clients will have a separate login. They can go in through here, but if you have a warehouse, your client has a warehouse, and they need to ship, they need to print the UCC 128 labels, or as something is getting shipped, they need to send out that ASN, that advanced shipping notice. There will be a separate login so that they have access to that. The cross-reference table. Now, I am going to show you the cross-reference table because this is pretty important as well. So the cross-reference table basically is going to enable you to list all the trading partners your client's working with. So for instance, this one is at Amazon, and on this cross-reference table you're going to put your item number and description, and then you can put the trading partner's item number, you can put the case quantities, inner packs, and there are other columns that we can add for you as needed. Up at the top you can see you can import CSV, so if your client has a, 100,000 items for Amazon, they can actually just import that CSV system from their files. And then you can export if you need to send it out the other way, add items, remove items, whatever it is that you would like to do. Sometimes your client uses an item number and the trading partner uses a different item number, or the trading partner orders in cases, but you want to import it into your system as eaches. That's where all this information will be stored, and that's where we would pull that from. We basically would set up the mapping. So as an order came in, we would look at that cross-reference table to pull that correct information. Okay, so going back to the client portal, and the next tab I want to talk about is the integration tab. This basically, again, and you can see, click here for NetSuite demo. So again, I just wanted to remind that the training videos are available at the top of each page. So the integration, this is an easy access for your clients to get into the NetSuite, where their documents are and where the listings are. You can see their import summary. They can query a document, which basically means they're pulling it out of NetSuite. So say they had sent an invoice and there was an exception, like I'd shown you earlier, and the carrier SCAC was missing. They will be able to go in, add the correct information that was missing, and then pull that invoice out again and send it. So this is a great tool to have on the client portal as well. Now, when you have an exception, you usually have to fix whatever is missing on it or whatever is wrong. So we'll use the invoice. So an item was missing off of the invoice. One of the things you could do is you could go onto the cross-reference table, add that item, and then reprocess that invoice. Now, sometimes there may be a circumstance where you need to remove it from history, only because if it's already gotten sent out and it was rejected and needs to get sent again, removing it from history will take it out of the duplication filter, because we do have a duplication filter in place. It's a safety tool. You obviously don't want to send multiple ASNs out. That would cause chargebacks. So if you do have something that was sent out and you need to resend it, you usually would need to remove that from history and then reprocess it. So for the reports tab, there's a lot of reports under here, pretty important. The transaction report being the most important, I would think, because this is where it's listing. And I want to point out right now it's showing the month of September, and I don't have any documents for September. All I'm going to do is I'm going to scoot back to August, and now I can see everything here. But on the transaction report, you can sort by trading partner. So as you can see, we have Swarm Builder, Moose Jaw. You can sort by document type, invoice ASN, PO acknowledgments, and you can also search by a specific document number over here. So say, for instance, you wanted to see if you sent an invoice out, but it was from 9 months ago or a year ago or 2 years ago. You just put that document number in there and search, and it will come up. It's basically this transaction report. It's showing the life of your relationship, your client's relationship with the trading partners. So it goes right back from the beginning of when it was originally set up. The reconciliation report, we actually just created that for a specific client. I don't think you guys are going to be needing that. The exception report, I've already mentioned that a couple times, but I just want you to kind of take a peek. So this one in this example, the invoice missing the carrier SCAC. So you would basically pull up that invoice, you'd populate the carrier SCAC, and then you'd reprocess it. Custom reports, if your client needs a custom report, we can work with them on that. The invoice, that is where your client will find your B2B Gateway invoice. The production notices, that is basically where your client can confirm that a document looks good, and then the trading partner status, it's just a bit more detailed description of what was already listed on the relationship page. And then support. Support is where the support ticket that I had mentioned before, that is where you will be able to have access. Just click on support home and you can go to any of the tickets that you have open. The training videos are listed here as well. And then the email manager, I had mentioned that earlier, that's where you can go and manage the emails that your clients, like basically who's going to receive what emails within their company. And I think that's about it. That's the client portal in a nutshell. So let's go back over to the presentation.
Are there any questions about the client portal before we go over a few things?
There's no questions on the chat. There was a specific question. I think, Mark, earlier you mentioned support for different gateways in the 200 and 300 series. I have a person that's asking about if you handle communications via EDI with ocean carrying freight vessels. He specifically mentions EDI 323 gateway.
323 being the document number, is that what you're referring to?
That's right.
Yeah.
And if that's a
there's
particular question,
sorry, go ahead.
Get back to me. I mean, I know that's a very specific question. You can get back to me if you...
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I know we handle over 300 of them, and I actually have a list at my desk. I don't have it in front of me, but I would be more than happy to take a peek at that and then give you that answer, Tom, once we finish the presentation. I can shoot you off an email and let you know. I don't see why we would not, but I will definitely let you know and get you confirmation on that.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Perfect. 323, I'm just writing that down. Yeah, so next, I mean, how can we help NetSuite close the deal? I mean, to start, you know, if you can just let our mutual potential client know that we offer hassle-free EDI setups, we have very competitive pricing, and we're committed to on-time integrations, as well as our partnership. I mean, we can definitely leverage the success stories in our partnership, you know, with our potential mutual client. Melissa and I are always more than happy and would love to jump on a joint call with you with a client anytime to explain the EDI process and how it's going to benefit, you know, your client's overall supply chain. We can also provide client portal demos, demonstrations that you just saw that Melissa provided, that, you know, to our mutual potential clients. We have plenty of marketing material, case studies, white papers, anything that you're looking for, just give us a call. We'll be more than happy to support you. I mean, the biggest thing for us is really to, you know, to get our mutual client or potential client on the phone, understand their unique requirements, understand if it's, you know, something that's standard and something that's completely not standard, and we can customize a solution around whatever their, you know, requirements are. You know, we can also help promote, you know, NetSuite on that call too, because we can discuss some of the some of the partnership and some of the past experiences that we've had with NetSuite, which we've done, for an example, with Red Star. We do that all the time. If we know that someone's looking for a more robust ERP system, we're more than happy to put a plug in there for NetSuite, as because they are one of our longest and most favorite partners. Also, just to reiterate how important the trading partner liaison role is, it's extremely important that this person is in place to ensure that we meet all of our clients' many trading partner, 3PL requirements, warehousing, distribution, whatever they're doing. It's nice to have one person to contact for all these different maps and specifications that's going to manage the relationship. And then lastly, all successful referrals are accredited to NetSuite.
So Tom, before I jump over to the last slide, which is our pricing, I actually ran out of the room and went to my desk. And yes, as I had thought, we do handle the 300 series, which is the vessel. So the 323 is that vessel schedule, ocean, and 324 is the vessel stow plan. So we do handle all of the 300 documents. And we also, all the 400, which are the railroad documents. So
okay, awesome.
Yeah, so
Thank
absolutely.
You for, Melissa, and getting the real-time information. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad it was Mark's turn to speak so I could run out of the room. So, okay. So to sum this up, how much does EDI cost? As most of you know, our pricing structure for all ERP platforms, NetSuite and others, it can be found online, and we are the only EDI company that is completely transparent. I mean, a potential client, a prospect can go onto our website, fill in some information, and then they get our pricing structure, and they're able to read it. There's nothing that's hidden. I mean, there is a one-time setup fee. As you can see, if it's a NetSuite client, it's $999. That is a one-time setup fee that builds that communication between NetSuite and B2BGateway. There is the trading partner fee, and that is a one-time fee per trading partner. So if you do add multiple, every time you add one, you would have that $750, but you'd still only have that setup fee that one time. And then, of course, we have the monthly service fee and then the transactional fee, which is 6 cents. So the remaining fees, I mean, they're all conditional or recurring based on the client's specific requirements. And, I mean, we have very competitive pricing, but I do want to just, emphasize that we will give your clients the best customer service and support by far. I mean, that is what we pride ourselves in. And I mean, we will help market your company as well. And so we just think that our customer service and the support and overall the big picture that we offer will make your clients very, very happy and glad that they chose that NetSuite B2BGateway partnership.
Yeah, and Tom, you had mentioned, Louisa being the main contact for many, many years. She's a fantastic person. I started with her, and she had moved on to I guess greener pastures. But so Melissa and I are here to support you and your team. We're going to be the go-tos. You come to us, we'll be more than happy, like I said, to jump on a call, support you in any capacity needed.
Excellent. We appreciate that. I'll throw it open for questions. Anybody on the webinar have any questions? I do have one more in the chat, and I know, Mark, you spoke to it earlier, but could you just refresh on all the different protocols that B2BGateway supports? I know you said ANSI, X12, so forth. Can you just run through them again? This particular person asked about AS2, AS3.
Yeah, AS2 I'll look into. I know, I'm sorry, AS3. AS2 we definitely support. There's a whole list of them, Tom. I just kind of listed the main ones.
It's the VAN.
Which is a value-added network, a VAN.
Yep.
There's an AS2, which is essentially a dedicated leased encrypted line. There's FTP, which is a free service file transfer protocol, and then SFTP, which is a secure file transfer protocol. Then you have HTTP. So I'll look into the AS3, but I mean, if it's something that we're not currently supporting or connected to, or if it's coming down the pipeline in the industry, I know our development team is looking at it, and it's something that we can definitely bring under the umbrella.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, I can get you that list too. I mean, ODET. There's if you're looking for all the different transport protocols too, there's a lot of acronyms in the EDI world. I'm sure in your world too.
Right. No, and actually I got the message back. Perfect. You answered my question, so thank you for that. The one other question that came in here, question about your implementation and support teams. What locations specifically are they in, and where do you have coverage globally? And then about your support, is it 24/7, at least by phone? So those two questions related to implementation, implementations and support.
Yeah. I'll let Melissa answer that one, just because her past life, she came from that area, from the service and the support side before she jumped over to the dark side of sales. But
yeah. So I was in the production support team, which is the rapid response team, the RRT, when I originally started here. And so a couple things. As far as to answer the question about the implementation, so we do have offices in Ireland, Australia, China, and here in the Northeast. And I actually was working with a client, and they were in Australia, and even though they came to me, they had their U.S.-based location here, and I was going to be working with their contacts here in the U.S. They had their technical people in Australia, and because of the big time gap, and we do calls. I mean, I've taken a call at 8 o'clock at night just so I could be on the phone with our Australian office. But what we did is we brought that Australian setup person, because we do have setup people in all of our offices, and we brought them in the loop so that they could work while we were sleeping. The Australian team was working with the client's Australian team, in their own time zone. So as far as implementation, we have coverage all over the world. And so don't worry about different time zones or anything, because we can handle all of that. Yeah, it's basically pretty much 24/7. As far as the support goes, okay, so, I mean, we have normal phone coverage 17 hours because the Ireland office opens like 5 hours before we do here in the U.S. And so it's about 17 hours of just normal office coverage. However, those remaining hours that there isn't somebody in the office, we do have support. We have an emergency phone number that any of our clients can call if need be, and they will receive a call back within 10 minutes. So basically every weekend and every evening we split up the coverage. So when I was on the RRT team, every few months I would have the coverage and somebody else. So there's always somebody there. There's always somebody that's on call. And as I mentioned, we are required. We'll get reprimanded if we do not get back to you within 10 minutes. So does that answer the two questions?
Yes, it does.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, and I think we've exhausted the chat questions. Thank you very much today. It was very informative. Thank you so much, Melissa and Mark, for your time and for sharing the story of B2B Gateway with us, and appreciate the presentation and demo of the portal.
Thank you.
Thanks for inviting us. We really appreciate it. And like Mark had mentioned, we really are looking forward to working directly with your NetSuite employees, and hopefully growing both of our businesses.
Okay.
And Tom, just lastly, if any other questions kind of trickle in after we hang up or whatnot, feel free to reach out directly to Melissa and I, or have the the individual that's asking the question reaches directly out to us too. That's fine.
Sounds good. Thanks. Everybody have a great rest of your day.